morning. I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Thursday, June 9th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Hey, you can also find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Truth Social, TikTok, and all those other social media sites by searching Larry Steinhouse. Hey, we also have if you want, on TikTok, we also have a Money Chat Now page, so you can take a look at that as well, and you can see excerpts from this show. Hey, just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can comment live during this show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and please say hi so I know you're watching. And by the way, we got a couple people saying hi already. We got James saying hi, and two James saying hi, James and James. We got Mick and Tom and Joe. Thanks so much. I always appreciate you guys watching. And by the way, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page, your name may not show up on my dashboard, so please go to the Money Chat Now page, hit like, and comment there so I can recognize you. Money Chat Now, of course, is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class tonight by going to investorschooling.com. You want to go to tonight's class. If you have a mortgage on your home, you're going to learn how to save hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of interest by going to class tonight. All right, you're going to also learn about real estate investing, stock options trading, and you'll learn about it from those who do it every day. Hey, we have somebody new who I haven't seen before. His name is Steve. Hey, Steve, thanks for watching. All right, we're going to be talking about today's show. We're going to be talking about the futures update. We're going to be asking the question, is Fintech dead? We're going to be talking about New York City's gun control and, of course, the Insurrection Misinformation. Oh, boy. All right, let's get into the futures, and let's talk about yesterday, what happened yesterday. So, look, yesterday's went pretty much as I called it. Nothing exciting, and the Dow closed down about 270 points. I said it would be about 200 points, closed down 270, about the same thing. The S&P was down about 45, and the NASDAQ was down about 89 points. The bond rate hurt the market yesterday, and of course it continues to be above 3%. I got to tell you, I don't think it's going to be a problem above 3%. After a couple of months, we're going to get used to it. Once again, investors are continuing to look for signs of slowing economic growth, and they're looking for the consumer price index reading that will be released tomorrow. The data is expected to come in slightly below April's numbers, and it could indicate that inflation has reached its peak. Look, as I've said before, it may be at its peak, it may not be at its peak, but it's definitely slowing. Look, don't worry about it. It's all slowing, except, of course, for gas prices. Gas prices keep going up every day. The big winner yesterday was a company called Trip.com. This is kind of odd. It's a Chinese trip booking company. The stock was up about 9%, along with some other Chinese stocks this week. NIO, is reporting today, and all of the Chinese stocks are bouncing out of the COVID coma, with guidance saying that they will be okay. Well, that'll be fine unless, of course, the communist government there chops off the hands of anyone making too much money. So that's the only problem with the Chinese stocks, is the Chinese government just continues to make it difficult for any company to make any money in China. I've been also watching another company called JD.com, which is also a Chinese stock. This stock has jumped about 21% in the past 2 weeks. So other Chinese companies are appearing to be starting to move up as well. The China lockdowns are ending, and the rumors of Chinese people, basically what happened was the rumors of Chinese people started to rebel against the ridiculous zero COVID policies in China. So they actually started to make them easier for people to actually, live a life. The problem with China is they wanted to have 0 cases in China, and of course that's as ridiculous as it was 2 years ago. By the way, speaking of COVID, I actually read a headline where Tom Wolf, governor of Pennsylvania, was tested positive for COVID for the second time. In the headlines, he was bragging that he was glad he got the vaccine and 2 boosters. Ugh. When someone can say that, their level of belief of stupidity is so high, you just want to smack your head. Of course, the bottom, or one of the biggest losers yesterday, was Carnival Cruise Lines. I'm in trouble with this play. I got to tell you, this is probably the worst play I've ever had in a year, right? I have about a month or so for it to come back 50%, and that's not likely at all. I do understand the economics behind the problem as fuel costs keep rising. However, like everyone else, they're probably passing the cost onto the traveler. But then again, look, maybe not. Maybe they can't because people are still afraid to get into close quarters with 25 to 5,000 other people. They really destroyed life with this COVID BS. But I'm seeing more and more, by the way, people posting their cruise trips on Facebook, so I might get lucky. The stock is set to report earnings on the 22nd of the month, and I do expect their earnings to be good. My concern will be with the guidance. So keep your fingers crossed for me. What am I going to do? All right, of course, the war also continues in Ukraine, and this war is strange. It's become more than a war, or maybe even less than a war, in the sense that we keep giving them artillery, but Ukraine can't use it against Russia. They can only use it to defend themselves. Like I said before, Ukraine has become a wartime training area. Both sides are bombing only inside the borders of Ukraine. It seems like a waste of time, and Ukraine can't actually win by trying to tire out Putin's effort. That's the only way they can do it. Putin will just keep going, and Zelensky's not going to stop defending the country. So it's clearly a riddle of the rock and the hard place. This month we had Amazon split, of course. Actually, it was this week we had Amazon split, of course. And today Meta will be trading under the symbol Meta. So when you're looking for FB today, you will find nothing. I'm curious to see how Wall Street adapts to this change. Right now, the stock is hovering at about 197, and it's having a tough time breaking out past the price of 200. We also have today's report of initial jobless claims report, and that will be coming out this morning. And we have earnings from Neo, DocuSign, and a small company called Rent the Runway. Neo will report after the bell, and this will be a significant report, and it may make several Chinese stocks move. It will also affect the smaller car companies like Nikola as well. So watch for this. Watch for the announcement after the bell and compare the Chinese companies and the other small companies for their reaction. It's a great thing to do especially if you're a newbie in the stock market. Watch how one stock affects another. DocuSign is also reporting after the bell. This was a scamdemic stock that popped to over 300 last year, but is now trading at about 90, which puts it about 30 points over where I expect it to go. So I still think it's going to pull back to about 60. I'm expecting all stocks to return to their pre-pandemic levels of 2018 to 2019 pricing, as I've explained many times. And this is also why I believe the Dow will be at around 28,000 by year end or early next year. The 26 to 28 or 27 to 29,000 range is probably where it will sit for a while. All right. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Let's take a look at the futures, and the Dow right now is up 123, the S&P is up 17, and the NASDAQ is up 64. All right, a whole bunch of people joining us online. Real quick, I want to say hello to Ken and Michael and Linda and Jose. Linda, my wife, thank you so much. I always appreciate you guys watching. Let's talk about fintech. All right, yesterday I reported on how Apple was starting to directly compete with fintech companies like PayPal and Square. Fintech is a short name for financial technologies. Many new companies were popping up in this arena as company creators realized that there was a whole new world, a whole new emerging market, that is, of millennials who want to invest money in several arenas such as stocks, cryptocurrencies, stock options, futures, and forex. These fintech companies introduced apps like Coinbase, Chime, and others that made investing look sexy. It also gave the newbie a platform to feel confident because others were also putting in their life savings of around $500 and investing it. Then, of course, we have the Reddit app and all the other chatter that happens there that makes the newbie investor feel more confident. Well, now that the economy is changing and so many millennials who need to pay for things like gas, which has doubled in the past year, are finding it difficult to keep investing in a market that's been working against them anyway. I've asked several of my crypto investing friends who at one time bragged about how much money they were up. I asked, are you still up? Almost all of them regretted not selling a long time ago, and some even said, I should have sold it when you told me to. Well, with all this happening, fintech stocks are really starting to drop. We've seen Robinhood start out in an IPO of about 32, quickly rise to 80, and now trades in single digits. We've seen Coinbase go from an IPO of about 250, skyrocket to 370, and touch down as low as 41, and now it's trading at about 70. SoFi is a lending company, dropped about to about 6.75 from a high of about 26. And I got to tell you, all of this makes me believe that financial tech industry is up for a rude awakening as the millennials start to realize they actually have to go to work and give up their dreams of owning a Lamborghini. It often fascinated me watching these guys who lived in the basements of their mother's house think that they would be multimillionaires by investing $500 into some crypto coin. Yeah, I know a few people from the beginning got very lucky with a Bitcoin investment that started out as a fun toy or a fun investment, but these are very few and far in between. The newer fintech companies are also holding off on releasing their new IPOs, mainly because of the fear that their stock will plummet in the first few days after being released. Even some of the CEOs of existing fintech companies are scratching their head at some of the evaluations given to their companies. John Cullison, co-founder and the president of Stripe, said he was unsure if the company could justify its $95 billion evaluation given the current economic environment. It's not even close. Look, they're still privately held with the thoughts of going public, and rumors said they would go public in 2022, but now they're holding back because of the state of the economy. A whole list of fintech companies like Klarna, Zopa, OpenPaid, and others, boy, they come up with some weird names, right? Anyway, they got to find they probably come up with weird names because they got to find the internet, the website. And others are all putting together their plans on hold. I personally believe that many of the fintech companies will merge or get swallowed up by larger companies. The survivors will bounce out of the end of the decade with great business model and great companies. Remember that whatever survives this coming downturn will be the leaders in the next decade. By the way, look for Investor Schooling to be one of those companies and listen to this commercial to attend a complimentary class tonight.
Okay, so you thought about buying and selling real estate. You've thought about investing in the stock market, but don't know where to start. Well, what if you could find a place to unlock strategies to master both real estate and the stock market, all without the headache? That place is Investor Schooling, hosted by Larry Steinhouse, an expert in real estate, financial literacy, and the ins and outs of the stock market. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate, and you will learn mastery of stock techniques such as options and covered calls. You will even get a chance to ask one of your burning questions to the stock options sultan, the master of picks and plays. Call 866-424-2829 for free information and receive a complimentary pass to attend classes, or register online at investorschooling.com. Don't delay. These passes are limited. So what are you waiting for? Call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. Or visit investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and if you'd like more information on investor schooling, of course, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Come tonight. It's going to be a great class. Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn about how to make more money. I want to say hello to a couple of people joining us online. We got Jose and Bill and Deb and Michael. Thanks so much. I always appreciate you guys. Michael is always saying, anti-Biden stuff. He's got LGB right there. That's awesome. All right. Everybody watching online, all right, go over, scroll over, hit the share button, and share it right now on your page, and share it in groups that you think may benefit from it. Also, hit the like button, and let me know what you think about the show. You can leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and I will try to respond to them live. Okay. So far, of course, we've been discussing the futures update. Right now, the Dow is up 132, the S&P is up 19, and the NASDAQ is up 75. We talked about the fact whether Fintech is dead. Coming up, we've got gun control, and we've got the insurrection misinformation, and then, of course, we have today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that like button? Did you hit the share button? Come on, hit that share button. Do it now. Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home and let me know what you think of the show. Hey, by the way, I have a new book. Did I tell you I have a new book? Go to wherever fine books are sold and look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. I promise you, you're going to learn a lot from this book, and you can get it on Kindle or Nook right now, and you can get the physical book, and it can be pre-ordered, and it'll arrive in about 6 weeks. So order that book right now. Order Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. All right, let's get into the second half, and let's talk about gun control. Oh, boy. Leave it to politicians to take advantage of a disaster to move along their communistic agendas. After we had a devastating shooting 2 weeks ago in a Texas school, all the Democrats struggling to make a case to vote for them in the midterm elections are announcing new gun control laws to virtue signal and help them get elected. Of course, the communist in charge of New York, Kathy Hochul, decided to sign a bill into law yesterday. In her opinion, it's going to stop a disaster like the one in Texas. But in my opinion, it'll do nothing but to make her look like the virtual signaling liar. Check out the highlights of this bill in the press release. So if you want to go, you can actually check out the bill. I'll give you the website in a minute where to go to. But it starts out with this statement. Governor Kathy Hochul signed today a landmark legislative package to immediately strengthen the state's gun laws, close critical loopholes exposed by shooters in Buffalo and Uvalde, and protect New Yorkers from the scourge of gun violence that continues to infect our nation and endanger our community. Really? That's her release? Come on. But wait, it gets better, because wait until you hear what's in the bill. Wait till you hear what's in the bill. While I read it to you, remember once again what the press release said, right? So this is what it said. Immediately strengthen the state's gun laws, close critical loopholes exposed by shooters in Buffalo and Uvalde, and protect New Yorkers from the scourge of gun violence that continues to infect our nation and endanger our communities. The bill summary is the following. By the way, I had to read through the entire press release several times to find the actual changes. The entire press release, which I said before, can be found on governor.ny.gov, governor.ny.gov, and it's just full of opinions of Democrat leaders saying how terrible guns and gun violence is. But here are the highlights of the bill. The first one is raising the age to purchase semi-automatic rifles from 18 to 21. The second one, banning body armor. The third one is strengthening the red flag laws. Fourth one is micro-stamping. Fifth is enhancing information sharing. Sixth is improved response and reporting of hateful, threatening social media content. And, wow, that's it. So these are all the things that they see will keep something from happening like Uvalde. Really? Listen, boys and girls, and all the other 53 genders who might be listening, can you find anything in here, actually, that was anything different than the laws we had in place? All right, I found one and one only. Raising the age of buying a semi-automatic weapon to the age of 21. That's the only one that restricts anything here. Yes, I agree. What's the difference anyway? Oh boy, listen guys, if you're going to shoot up a school, you're not allowed to have an AR-14 or 15 anymore. Now you have to use something different. Oh no, wait, I got another way. A bad guy is still going to be able to get a semi-automatic weapon if they want one anyway. But really, this is the substance of the bill? This is her statement on the bill. Her statement. I am proud to sign a comprehensive bill package that prohibits the sale of semi-automatic weapons to people under 21, bans body armor sales outside of people in select profession, closes critical gun law loopholes, and strengthens our red flag law to keep guns away from dangerous people. New measures that I believe will save lives. If this is what they want to do to protect our children being killed by a bad guy with a gun, they should be held responsible for the deaths. Yes, they should. This is garbage, and it's clearly virtual signaling. Oh, and by the way, how does someone wearing body armor make them a killer anyway? On the other front, we have several new gun control proposals going on in the House right now. Listen to some of these dumbass proposals. The Gun Trafficking Act. Yes, this will make gun trafficking a federal crime with 10 years in prison. I don't know, isn't this one obvious or already on the books? The other one is Ethan's Law. This will make it so that you can't have a gun in your home if you have children. Yes, you can't have a gun in your home if you have children. My children or a gun? Huh, let me think. Anyway, by the way, there are 3 more similar proposals for guns in homes. Even some say that the ammo needs to be stored in a separate place than your gun. So when someone breaks into your house, just say to them, hey, hold on a second. Can you wait there while I get my gun from my safe and my ammo from the separate storage place in my basement? Just hold on a few minutes. I want to take care of, keeping you from entering my house to protect my children, right? I'm sure he will wait. Finally, the last includes magazine sizes. Seriously, this is what we're up against. It's like telling the clowns who scare children they can't wear a red nose. Work on the problem of keeping guns and crazies out of school instead of telling someone who wants to shoot up a school that they have to use a different gun than an AR-15. Listen, if you want to shoot up a school, don't you use an AR-15. You can use any other gun, but you can't use an AR-15. How ridiculous these politicians are. Oh, and by the way, if you're in Bucks County, the rhino idiot Fitzpatrick voted for some of these. I really think I should run against this guy. He is such a waste. All right, let's talk a little bit about... by the way, James said the same thing. Every gun is a semi-automatic. That's true. If you take a pistol, it's a semi-automatic. A semi-automatic means you pull the trigger and it automatically reloads. All right, anyway, let's get into the insurrection. In an effort to keep Trump from running for president in 2024, or in other words, to keep America from ever being a great again, the Dumbocrats are continuing their witch hunt against the greatest president this country ever had. The January 6th debacle that Democrats call an insurrection has been under investigation for the past 2 years. The evidence will be discussed in a televised hearing starting today. The 9-member committee is expected to show video from that day, the day of the attack, and to hear testimony from a Capitol Police officer, Carolyn Edwards, who suffered a traumatic brain injury from the violence. Also scheduled to testify is Nick Quosted, I don't know, a documentary filmmaker who was following members of the far-right Proud Boys group in the days before the riot on the day of the event, and also including the day of the invasion himself. It seems like the impeachment hearings are all over again. It's exactly the same thing. Why don't they just hire a monkey and train it to jump up and down holding a sign that says, Orange man bad, Orange man bad? It would have more effect than these lying, manipulating Democrats using footage to paint their picture. And what does it all have to do with Trump anyway? He didn't cause this, and the evidence will show, or it probably won't show because I'll never bring it up, that he ordered the National Guard to be there and Nancy Pelosi declined the order. If she didn't want this to happen, she could have prevented it. The real story here is why aren't the other riots that were being held in the last 2 years before all this mess not being investigated at the same level? All right, I look forward to seeing this kangaroo court hearing. And by the way, just wait for all the memes on Facebook and Twitter. Silly, silly people. Let's take a break here, and we'll be back with the wrap-up. Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I've written a book called Money Hacks. The subtitle to this book is because everything you think you know about money is wrong, and I promise you there are things you think about money that are wrong. There are chapters in this book that I think you will find absolutely fascinating, and some of them are, what is money anyway? Can money buy happiness? I'll bet you don't know the answer to that question. The truth about credit scores, how you can actually use credit cards to rebuild your credit. I also have chapters on being your own bank, how to buy houses with an IRA, and how to invest with other people's money. There are so many other chapters. There are 22 total chapters in this book, and I promise you're going to learn how to make more money and pay less taxes when you buy this book. My name is Larry Steinhouse. The name of the book is Money Hacks. You can get this book wherever fine books are sold, and you can go to barnesandnoble.com right now and pre-order it. I hope that you will enjoy it. All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. By the way, did you guys order that book yet? Come on, go order it. Hey, a couple of people online who had joined us I haven't said hello to yet. We have Jose and Bill and Deb and Doug K and Charles. All right, thanks, guys. Always appreciate you guys watching. And Moshe and Michael. So thanks so much for watching. I always appreciate you guys. And if you're watching for the first time or if you haven't said hi yet, please say hi now. All right, right now the futures are up 80, which dropped a little bit. The S&P is up 12, and the NASDAQ is up 45. Hey, we talked about whether Fintech is dead. We talked about New York City gun control and what a waste that is. We talked about the insurrection misinformation, and of course we have today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that like button? Did you guys hit that share button? Let everybody know what great stocks are playing? are coming, I should say, by sharing this information. And you could share this on this page. You can share it on your page or in groups. And you can also leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Hey, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the stock market. All right, let's talk about what's going on. What should we expect today in the market? Once again, it's going to be a lot of the same, which is nothing. Just like yesterday, we may get a slight movement up or down. Again, like yesterday, probably close up or down less than 200 points in the Dow. Not going to be much. It'll probably, probably go up actually just to make up for yesterday, but nothing much because the investors are pretty much waiting until tomorrow for the exciting news of the CPI data. This data will determine the fate of the next interest rate rise and a general look at inflation. Nothing much else to discuss, really. I mean, don't forget, Facebook is now Meta, so take a look at that. META is the new symbol. And tomorrow, of course, I believe will be the start of the good news of the market. This will either be the good news of the CPI report or simply because the dead zone is ending. Next week, we should see some major brands like Meta, Apple, and others start to move up and look for another choppy day. And real quick, the futures are up 66, the S&P is up 9.5, and the NASDAQ is up 30. It's dropping. That's not good. Real quick, crypto. Crypto is holding its own right now. Bitcoin is just above 30,000, and Ether is about 18. And for all you guys who are going to ask me, stay away, stay away. Once again, silver and gold aren't moving, and they're still around 1850 and 22. These numbers have been the same, I mean, for a while now, so something is going to happen with that pretty soon. The Treasury bonds are moving up, and they're above 3%. Again, I also think the market's going to get used to that number, so don't be too concerned about it. Oil prices, the price per barrel is $121 per barrel. I actually thought it would move down. It's not. And now the average gas price has moved up to $4.97 a gallon. Average gas price, $4.97 a gallon. Hey, everybody, let's cheer. Let's go, Brandon. I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support. And if you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let me know. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I am the CEO of Investor Schooling. And don't forget, you can contact me directly at contactlarry.com. Don't forget to order my book. Hey, and also don't forget that from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show, and the opinions discussed in this show is solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. And you guys all out there, have a profitable day.